So I finished streaming a few hours ago, and I'm pretty sure that just like me, you're really excited for the version 2.5. I've been waiting for some kind of drip about the second character that we're going to get into the version 2.5, but we got nothing. The last thing we got was Zhao 3 days ago, and the only thing that we know is that she's an ice defender. After this, we got a bit of a story teaser right here with some voice lines. We also had some reminders about events that we're going to get in this version still, and that's all we got, right? But pretty much everyone kind of agrees that the next character is going to be SHUNGUANG because of all the attention that devs keeps giving to her. She's going to get a lot of attention on the version 2.4, both on the main story and also a whole event just for her, where you're going to interact with her quite a lot. And the devs even mentioned this on a dev post about like making sure that players can see some of the characters before they actually like have some kind of impact in the story being released or things like this. And not to mention that they also showcase some of her animations on a the same dev post video, but they only released this one on Bilibili, just on the Chinese side. And that's all. People keep saying that the devs are like pulling the Miyabi on us because in case you didn't play around the 1.4, which was Miyabi release, they drip Harumasa and then a whole week later, they drip Miyabi. So people are saying that they are doing the same thing, but the thing is that we actually got some kind of news. And this is available on MIYOUSHE, which I believe this is some kind of Chinese HoYoLab. I'm not so sure, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But yeah, we have some really spicy information, including some icons right here that you can see, and some of them are really recognizable, right? So in this video, I want to talk about these bit of a drip marketing and what exactly changed on your pool priorities. Listen, we both know how important it is when it comes to saving money on these gacha games, and that's where LDShop comes in. LDShop.gg is a top-up platform that offers massive discounts and good prices for a lot of different games, including Zone Zero. All you need is your server and the UID, and you're good to go. You just select what you want to buy, fill up everything here, you press top up, and then you're going to get a confirmation detail page. Make sure everything here is correct because, of course, you want to get your polychromes and your internet membership, right? You just wait a little bit and your polychromes are going to be delivered to your account that fast. Look at this. And you know there's double top-up bonuses that you get on the first time you buy one of those monochrome packs. LDShop got you covered because they can trigger the double top bonus for you. And the best part is that whenever you spend $80 in a single month, you get a coupon that allows you to get one of those monthly memberships for free, even in an internet membership, as you can see right here. Register your account using my link down the description and you get a 15 and a 5% coupon that allows you to save up to $50. So stop wasting time and start saving money using LDShop. Thanks LDShop for sponsoring this video. Alright, so I cannot read and I usually don't like relying on automated translation for Google Translate or things like this because it usually doesn't give a proper translation, right? So someone on my Twitch chat, Jeff the Chaff, really appreciate it. They said, someone translate the internet post. It reads, at the end of the maze, light shines through the shade of the willows. Even on the internet, no one recognized this trigram. That's it. Let's go and ask the masters at Suibian Temple to clarify my doubts tomorrow. Now, I don't know how accurate this translation is. I'll appreciate once again if anyone can confirm. It seems that it's Suibian Temple related, which is already a huge hint about who we're talking here. And on top of this, we have the 3 icons right here. We have the Void Hunter, we have the Attacker icon, and we have a new one that I'm going to be talking about this one later. Also, we have on the side of the dice, fire on every single one of these. And I also have ice right here. It looks like ice, like the 6-pointed star. And that's all. I have no idea why ice and fire are showcased right here. But this icon right here, for me, it's just like Miyabi also has its own version of the ice attribute. And just like Ishuan also has its own version of the ether damage, the ether attribute. For me, this looks basically like a new version of Physical. Because if you take a closer look at the Physical icon, the shape is kind of similar. Take a look on this. It looks kind of similar, you know? And on top of this, this is 7-pointed, just like this is also 7-pointed, a 7-pointed star. I don't like calling it a star, but it's a 7-pointed thing, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you go right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same number of points on both of these things. So for me personally, I was talking with chat and we kind of got an agreement that this looks like Physical related. That's what we got in terms of drip, and I'm really excited because Void Hunters always get all this hype, you know? Void Hunters always feels like a must pull. People even say that if a character is a Void Hunter, you need to pull, otherwise you're going to break your account. Which I kind of disagree. This is definitely a little bit of exaggerated, you know? It's not exactly like this, there are people around there that they still play the game without Miyabi, without an issue, and they can still clear the end game, right? So it's not that necessarily not pulling, skipping the Void Hunter is going to break your account. It's not like this. But usually Void Hunters, they offer a lot of value for your pulls. And I feel that YeShunguang, if she ends up being a physical attacker Void Hunter, as we are speculating right here, then she's definitely going to be really interesting, especially because if you think about it, all the physical related, physical attacker characters, they are 1.0 characters, right? After this, we had a bunch of Anomaly. Piper is also 1.0. We had Jane, which was on 1.1. Alice on 2.2. Do we have anyone else that is physical? Well, Pukra, but she's a stunner. We're not going to count her. We have Pun, but support-like, so we're also not going to count this one. But yeah, this is all that we got when it comes to physical-related damage. Well, we're also getting Dialing on a 2.4, but once again, stunner, not necessarily DPS base, right? So at the end of the day, if we're talking about crit-based characters, we're lacking a little bit on the physical attacker side, especially because all of these characters, they are 1.0. So I'm pretty sure that just in terms of raw damage, if YeShunguang ends up being a Void Hunter physical attacker, she's going to already be really, really valuable. But if you feel that you have really good support agents for characters like Billy, Corin, Neko, you can definitely clear the end game content that is supposed to be good for YeShunguang, if they don't add anything specific or unique is a better word, to her, right? Because if they add something that is really unique to her, then they are probably going to try to shield this uniqueness instead of shielding the actual class or the attribute. So this is something that you need to keep in mind, because having the character usually makes your life much easier, right? And when it comes to the class, attacker, and the attribute physical, every single content that requires a physical or an attacker class is probably going to be really good for YeShunguang. So this is what you need to keep in mind. The question that you need to make is, do I have enough characters to cover the class and the attribute of this Void Hunter? Because if the answer is yes, then you already have one reason to not pull the character, right? In this case, YeShunguang. But I know that there are people, for example, that don't like Miyabi gameplay, and they decided to pull her because everyone keeps saying that it's a must pull, it's a must pull. And at the end, ZZZ is a game where you play the character, right? If you don't like the gameplay, then what's the point of pulling the character? This is a really important thing, all right? So at the end, for now, we don't have any information about the gameplay itself, but if at the end you don't like YeShunguang gameplay, even if she's a Void Hunter, as long as you have some way to cover the attribute, you're good. You don't need to worry about pulling the character just because of the Void Hunter tag, right? This is something that you need to keep in mind, and this is something really important, right? But for most players, she's going to be really valuable, right? So we are leaving her in the most pull section, right? When it comes to Zhao, I'll be really honest, I don't like defender characters in general, but this is just because they are so limited in terms of options and weapons and a lot of stuff, right? So Zhao being an ice defender, I mean, getting new ice characters and ice characters that can be some kind of supports, it's really good. Maybe it's time to Sokaku to take a break, you know, but we are only going to see it when it happens, right? We're only going to get the final information once the special program goes live and about the things that she's going to do. I kind of feel that defenders in general, they kind of need to have a little bit of a better identity and more value to the class itself. Because if you think about all the weapons that we have access, like A-rank weapons, not accounting for limited engines, because Caesar engine is pretty good. Even though Caesar herself is not that good, the engine is really good. But for Zhao, well, the issue is that, is it going to be another situation where I need to pull the limited engine again just to get a good value out of the character? Because all the A-rank options, they are really bad. They are so bad that sometimes you just end up using someone else, another class weapon on them just to get extra utility. You know, a stunner engine if you want the extra impact on the secondary stat, or even Miyabi engine if you want extra damage and crit rate as well. This is how bad the situation is for defender engines. So this is the most questionable part. The only thing we can do is like keep an eye. But being a support defender in the class, I'm not going to say that she's a must pull or anything. We're just going to leave her right here. So before diving 2.4, we have the 2.3, the patch that we are right now, with Idhari and Fufu. And I'll be so real. I already made a video talking about Idhari and Fufu, right? The TLDR is that Idhari is a really easy skip because we already have Miyabi, we have Yishuan. There are a lot of ways for you to cover the Ice attribute or the Rupture class if you need to. But, as I mentioned once again, this is a game where you play the character. If you enjoy Idhari gameplay, go for it. All right, there's nothing wrong on going for a character that you enjoy playing. It's much better to pull a character that is not amazing but you have fun playing than pulling a character that is amazing but you don't like playing. Right, this is the most important thing. If you can take something out of this video, is this, right? Keep this in your mind. Idhari is an easy skip, and Fufu is sadly not worth pulling, especially with the dialing announcement. She's a really fun and flexible character, easy to play because she's an off-field stunner, and this is definitely something that I need to give the credits for her. But outside of this, dialing is pretty much power creeping Fufu. I'll be so real. Like, if you think about it, Fufu is giving 300 decibels for your attacker or Rupture agent whenever they use the ultimate, right? Dialing is giving 3000. That's 10 times more decibels. I mean, sure, if you account for the increased cap on the decibel that Fufu also provides, it's going to be like 1300 decibels. Meanwhile, dialing is giving 3000, which is still like a lot more decibels, right? So at the end of the day, dialing is just there providing this extra ultimate for your DPS units. And like, if you think about it, Yishuan, for example, is already really strong if you manage to hit 3 ultimates on the same stun window. Well, dialing is right here and she's giving this extra ultimate for your Yishuan without the need of a perfect rotation, without the need of extra decibel generation on your Deadly Assault buffs and things like this. You just need to use dialing and there you go. You're going to get your 3rd ultimate on Yishuan. You're going to get your 2nd ultimate on any attacker. So if you think about it, it's really strong. All right, it's going to make a massive difference on a lot of DPS rotations. And honestly, I kind of feel that this is probably going to be too strong that it ends up being unhealthy for the game. These are pretty much the 2 characters that I would say that they are definitely must pull. Hugo, Ellen, well, Ellen, I'll be so honest, Ellen has not been working that well for a while, but just like I mentioned that you can skip characters if you don't like the gameplay, you can also pull characters if you really enjoy the gameplay. I think that it's really important to have a balance between characters that you enjoy playing and characters that are really important for you to have. I feel that dialing, for example, is a character that is really important for your account. Even more important than SHUNGUANG, in my opinion. Why? Because she is a unit that is going to provide utility for a lot of DPS. You want to play Ellen? Hey, you can play Ellen with dialing. You want to play Hugo? Hey, you can play Hugo with dialing. You want to play Idhari? Well, you can play with dialing as well. So you see, at the end of the day, you have a lot of flexibility. She works with a lot of agents and she's providing something for them. You know, it's not just DPS. So at the end of the day, this is what you need to keep in mind. You need to have a balance about things. You need to pull really important units, but you also need to remember about having fun with the game, right? Hugo is kind of in a sad spot, just like Ellen. Ellen just pretty much doesn't feel like deals damage by any means, right? I know that there are people that actually enjoy her gameplay. I'm not a huge fan, right? I got her skin because I promised that I was going to get her in the next update, but well, I'll be so real that if SHUNGUANG ends up being on 2.5, I'm probably not going to pull Ellen, so I'm sorry, Ellen. But point is that if you enjoy the gameplay, well, you have a reason to pull her, right? Hugo is just in a sad spot because the issue with Hugo is that he just feels a little bit too much any increase on enemy HP. And on Shiyu, on Deadly Assault, we always keep getting the HP inflation, you know? The HP keeps increasing because the power level of units, it keeps increasing, you know? They keep releasing stronger units, stronger supports, so they kind of feel that they need to increase the level, you know? So at the end of the day, because of this, Hugo ends up feeling it really hard. And the reason for this is because Hugo pretty much only deals damage on the stun window, you see? So at the end of the day, if he was killing the enemy on, I don't know, 5 stun windows, well, but now they increase the HP, and after your 50 stun window, the enemy remains with a little bit of HP. Well, good luck trying to get this remaining HP with Hugo, because most of the damage is going to happen on the stun window. Well, yeah, if it's just a little bit, you can definitely deal damage outside of the stun window. Maybe you can get better discount stunners or things like this. But the point is that Hugo just feels a lot of the impact of HP increase and a lot of things on his damage potential, you know? The damage that Hugo used to do back in 1.6 when he released, it was really good. Now, if you keep dealing the same damage with Hugo that you did back in 1.6, right now in 2.3, you're going to notice that it's not good enough. So Hugo just feels it really hard, alright? This is the main issue, but the gameplay is quite unique, it's quite interesting, it's a burst style on every single stun window that I really enjoy. I actually have a lot of fun playing Hugo. It's just that I didn't have the pulse. I would love to get him right here, but well, once again, SHUNGUANG's right here, Dial is right here as well, and well, it is what it is, alright? I have priorities. Dial is my priority, SHUNGUANG is my priority, and you should also have your priorities, okay? And I'm going to love if you leave in the comments down below your pool priorities, especially after this video, because I hope this video could help you understand about the pool priorities. The TLDR when it comes to DPS units is that it's all about the gameplay. ZZZ, you play the character, have fun with the character, right? Don't pull characters just because everyone says that it's really strong. If you don't like playing, no reason to pull. Dialing is a utility unit. She is flexible and she increases the damage potential of a lot of characters. So far, if anything, she's the actual must pull, even more than SHUNGUANG, right? But hey, for waifu reasons, for gameplay reasons, we all have our own opinions and our own taste, and this is something that only you can decide, right? I'm not going to tell you what you should pull, right? Except Dialing. Pull Dialing. She's good, I guess. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope this video could help you understand a little bit about this pull priority on these agents. And that's it. If you still have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments down below, or you can join my Discord server. The link is down in the description. And I'm going to leave the link of this post in the comments or the description as well, you know, so you can look for the image yourself. Once again, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.